Welcome to the Delingpod with me, James Delingpole. And I know I always sound very excited about this week's special guest, but I'm not, because it's not a special guest. It's Dick. It's the guest.
It's Dick time.
Dick, there are going to be so many people who are. This is going to be like manna. This is going to be like an oasis after months. That's how it feels in the desert.
Well, last time you were up here and we were in this very room, although we very cunningly pretended we weren't. Remember?
You haven't told. You could get. You know what the police are like. They could easily go back and retrospectively punish us for.
I wouldn't put it. No, joking aside, if you look at what's happening in Australia at the moment. In Victoria specifically, I know that the Australians are quick to say it's not the whole of Australia, mate. It's just Victoria. Yeah. Those guys are mental.
Is that what they say?
It's almost exactly like that.
Yeah.
But it's full Nazi. They've even gone for the black shirts on the police.
They have.
And
but do you know, it wasn't initially. Back in the day, it was not Victoria which was Australia's fascist state. It was Queensland had the reputation of being the fascist state under Joe Bjelke-Petersen, I think.
Well, you know what? We actually, as luck would have it, have an Australian in the room with us right now.
And nodding. I was actually looking across for cue, and he was giving me visual cues.
Just to fill in our special friend here. Because James has visited, he's come up to Worcester to see me.
Well, not really. Mainly to see your osteopath.
Of which more later.
Yeah.
I suggested it's Wednesday, let's go out for a drink and see if any of the guys want to come along. And of course, everyone does. And so...
What, both of them?
Hector and Simon, another regular, have come up from deepest Leicestershire to come and... have a drink with us tonight, but it does make them available now for questions about Australia. They're in the room with us right now.
Also, oral sex services, should we require them during the podcast?
If you hear a slapping sound, it's more likely to be one of the dogs.
One of the dogs, yeah, it is. Very likely.
But yes, Hector, I noticed you were making comments about... On Twitter, you were saying, if anyone is surprised about what's happening in Victoria, then you haven't been paying attention. Do you want to just expand on that?
Well, Victoria, Melbourne especially, always seem to be... I was just talking to Simon about this, and he made the point that it's Australia's most European state, with sophisticated people who are very knowledgeable about the world and would consider themselves very tolerant. But in fact, like most leftists, they're very intolerant. And they've had some awful governments over the years. Even the Liberal governments, who are like the equivalent of the Conservatives, have been really, really authoritarian and awful governments. So in a way, it's not a surprise that it's happening in Melbourne and Victoria. But in a way it is, because it is supposed to be the civilised part of Australia. But we can see now it very much is not the civilised part at all. It is a very nasty part.
Yeah, the video of that woman being attacked.
Who it turns out was mask exempt after all that anyway.
Was she?
Yeah.
I wonder whether she can sue or something.
Well, good luck with that.
But I tell you what, it is scuppered Operation Flee to Oz that I'd been toying with.
Yeah, but I mean, think that Melbourne, correct me if I'm wrong, is kind of like the Brighton of Australia in a way. I mean, it is uber liberal. And as it turns out in this whole thing, to no one's surprise, it turns out liberals love authoritarianism. And ironically, or not at all, it's the Conservatives who are fighting for freedom. So, yeah, as Hector said, we shouldn't be surprised that they've gone like that. And... as an example of just how bad it can get over here, then look no further than those Aussies.
But I tell you what, Dick, I feel like we've plunged straight into full sexual intercourse without any foreplay.
We do this though. I've noticed that in the preamble we end up going down an avenue that just leads on to a cul-de-sac and another road and a.
Various people have said, I know, because I read the comments on the YouTube channel, and various people said, we want more Dick. Dick The Dick podcasts are our favourites, and I think that's really touching. I don't know how. I'd love to know what proportion of the Delingpod fan base, what proportion of them think Dick is best. I mean, not better than me, obviously. I mean, the Dick podcasts are best.
I think it's because I'm non-specific, and if you're interviewing an economist,
You're an NPC.
going to talk. No, I'm not an NPC. That's
Yes,
not
you
nice.
are.